Breaking news out of a Manhattan federal courtroom. The judge ruled that Sean Diddy Combs will remain in custody while the case against him plays out, denying him bail. Combs' defense attorneys had proposed to put him on home detention with a $50 million bond. Combs did not react when the judge made her ruling. Quince Nia Clark joins us now from outside of the courthouse in Lower Manhattan with the very latest.
The bad boy riddle.
That newly unsealed 3-count indictment coming down earlier, just hours before Combs pleaded not guilty to those 3 charges that you mentioned. And in front of the judge, he appeared rather stone-faced. He was wearing a black T-shirt, some jogging pants, and some sneakers while sitting in between 2 of his attorneys. Now, prosecutors allege that Combs used his
bad boy,
threaten and coerce women as well as others around him, including witnesses and employees.
He just ran an escort service, that's all.
Sexual desires, as well as to cover up his alleged bad behavior and protect his reputation. Now, earlier we heard from the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York about the allegations. He also mentioned the evidence that was seized during the raids of Combs' homes in both Miami as well as Los Angeles back in March.
Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims.
Y'all got the Southern District saying freak off.
At least 2008 to the present, he ran his business empire headquartered in Manhattan and Los Angeles to engage in a multitude of crimes, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, narcotics offenses, bribery, and obstruction of justice.
Damn.
He accuses Combs of physically, sexually, verbally, and emotionally abusing women, which included manipulating them into participating in sexual performances with commercial male sex workers by drugging the women, controlling their careers,
I better get rid of my old
them, and even
computers and
using
maps.
violence, often recording those encounters electronically and even using those recordings to further manipulate and coerce women. The indictment also says his assaults on women, which date back to at least 2009, were witnessed by others, and referenced a video that recorded him physically abusing a woman in the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016 as she attempted to leave. Now, recently, a leaked video of Combs abusing ex-partner Cassandra Ventura in a hotel as she attempted to leave went viral. And aside from Combs' arraignment, the judge in the case also held a detention hearing to determine if Combs should be detained pending trial or be free. Federal prosecutors called Combs dangerous and urged that he be jailed without bail. His lawyers, meanwhile, proposed that he be released on a $50 million bond to home detention.
They ain't even do Weinstein like that.
This is what we've been expecting since the searches in March.
No, this is what y'all been expecting since Kamala Harris got announced candidate.
Not a lot of defendants do that. He came to New York to basically engage the court system and start the case, and it'll start today.
See, the Democrats said they was going to deal with you black men before elections.
To those 3 charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, as well as interstate transportation for prostitution. He was arrested late Monday, roughly 6 months after federal investigators began their sex trafficking investigation and raided his homes in Miami and Los Angeles. Annika?
Okay, Nia, thank you.
This is election manipulation right here.
Detailed analysis as defense attorney and former Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Jeremy Salon. Jeremy, great to see you. Let's talk about this indictment. It's a 3-count indictment: racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Talk, if you would, about the severity of these charges as well as the time that
Diddy ain't gonna die in prison.
Found guilty.
He ain't gonna do an Epstein.
Is the proper term. These are incredibly serious charges. Anytime you involve human trafficking, and when there's a possible enhancement, as there is here, He's looking just on that charge alone, a minimum of 15 years, and can get, in fact, up to life in prison.
Oh, come on, man. Y'all wouldn't treat Children's Law Service like that.
Basically, that he can get similar time, not life, but that 15 years as well. And then the other charge,
I know some social workers hiding in ACS offices right now.
Seriously, guy just used any term of incarceration or
involved in prostitution.
And for him, it's incredibly, incredibly grave.
Let's talk about, you mentioned criminal enterprise. What do prosecutors in that
ACS is a criminal enterprise.
Need to prove in order to
Children's Law Service is a criminal enterprise.
So a criminal enterprise is not just a loose-knit group of people. We'll call it a business or a crew that's a little tighter than that, where there's structure to it. There's a boss, if you will. It doesn't have to be
like comprehensive family services.
Enterprises with the mob or something like that, but it's the same concept, and it can come in many forms. And they share a common goal. And in this case, unlike a legitimate business, this enterprise is sharing an unlawful goal, and united in that effort and stratified from that boss, if you will, on down, that boss allegedly being P. Diddy or Sean Combs on down, trafficking these women as alleged, with force and violence and drugs and things like that. So that is the theme here, and that's what that enterprise would be.
And when you say on down, would that mean that you expect other charges, or that potentially other people who may have worked with him in the past or have now turned state's witness and will be testifying for the prosecution in your expectation?
I would not be shocked. I mean, we know that the search warrant.
Yeah, it would not be shocking.
We know that there's digital or recorded evidence. We know there's been a lawsuit back, I believe, stemming from 2016. And
what they called the evidence off for the man, Eric Adams?
Not last, actually, but
confiscation.
We know from the indictment that there was people working there. There was different layers of people who worked for Sean Combs who were witnesses to this. So it would not shock me at all that beyond maybe a wire, beyond the evidence from the search warrant, that someone is cooperating and saying, I saw something, don't come after me. These are all the bad things that I saw, and here's proof in text, here's proof in emails, whatever it may be, videos that demonstrate what happened.
And some of these charges are tied to allegations that date back 15 years. Is there any statute of limitations that would come into play here?
Generally speaking, barring some exception, it's a 5-year statute of limitations. But there's certain things, we use the term toll or stop that clock from ticking, that happen and occur in these prosecutions. So for example, if Sean Combs was out of the country for an extended period of time, that could stop the clock from ticking. There's ways when the federal government tries to secure evidence and materials overseas, I won't go into the details of it, but they make an application in up to 3 years, that can stop the clock from ticking from the time you make the request until the time you receive that evidence and those materials. So there's many things that we don't know about. If there were children victims, it could extend the time as well. Yeah. That's not alleged here, but there's many things we don't know about that certainly could be part of the stuff.
Well, it ain't like he got a Trump defense team.
And when you look at this indictment, I mean, the U.S. attorney is calling him a danger to the community. For his part, he has pleaded not guilty. What type of defense do you expect him to put up to fight these charges?
Eric Adams won.
Based on what we're seeing already, I'd imagine he's in a very strong case.
Banks Brothers defense.
But he's certainly not going to roll over. First of all, he showed up. He came to his arraignment. He came to court and understanding what he's facing. He's not running away. He's a man of ample means. Why would he pay for these women? Why would he do this? He can do this on his own. They have an agenda. They want money from him. And then what the defense might try to do is say, you know what, give us a trial quickly. You have a lot of witnesses potentially. You have a lot of evidence. I'm going to sort of bum rush you, for lack of a better term, to say, let's have a trial within a few months' time, and there's statutes and things that can dictate that. Let's move this forward as quickly as we can. But, we don't know what the evidence is. So it's hard to say all of the defenses, but we know the search warrants. I would expect there's people cooperating. There could very well be wire information. So there's a lot of things he has to overcome, but he has no alternative. This is not a case where there's going to be an offer that he's going to be willing to accept. This is his life and his future. Mm-hmm.
Defense attorney and former Manhattan Assistant District Attorney Jeremy Saland, always appreciate your insight. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
A man is in critical condition after being shot in the